Okay, first things first, generate data, generated program. Okay, so now that we've run the files, we should have two separate PDF reports. The first one reflects all of the data collected across the entire set. So this would be for 26 players. So it's displaying the number of plays that each player has, along with their respective win rate. At the top, it features an analysis, a possible analysis input. Uh, I don't have much to reflect on this data, so it's simply a placeholder for now, but you have the option to add in that data as you go along through that input. In addition to the scatter plot that displays the play count versus win rate for each player, you also have the collective aggregate win rate versus difficulty. This is not necessarily player specific, it's just for each of the difficulty categories. As you can see, it's color coordinated as requested. And then as for the player, this one does a similar thing for the scatter plot. It again shows all the possible players that exist within the database, except in this case, it singles out the specific user that was requested, and it makes their scatter point green instead so that they stand out. In this case, we selected for player A. So their point is right there up at the top. It's green. This one also has the option to input analysis. As before, I don't have much to add. So there it is as a placeholder to indicate that it is functional and working. In this case, because it's targeting a specific player, instead of showing the aggregate win rate versus difficulty for all players, this is showing the win rate versus difficulty for player A specifically. And that's displayed again in the same bar chart with the same color coordination. Okay. And that really wraps up those plots specifically. Of course, to give a little bit more detail, the scatter plot displays the number of plays on the x-axis and the win rate on the y. So depending on the specific value for the number of plays compared to win rate that each player has, they'll be plotted differently on that scatter plot. And then the difficulty is just sorted by easy, medium, and hard. And the aggregate win rate, that is the number of plays compared to the number of wins for each of those categories, is compared to give you the win rate. As for the style choices, I simply went for functional and operational. Helvetica is not necessarily my favorite font, but it works in this instance. And open files, of course, shows your work, explain your style choices. It also gives you, in theory, it should give you a spacer between anything that's written, but in this case, it gives you a page break between the different bar charts. This ensures that nothing is getting too crowded on any one page. So it just moves it over to the next page to actually print the bar chart. Of course, at the top, we have information about the game itself. So for the report, it just says bull and cow statistics because it's the statistics across the entire game, not necessarily bound to any specific player. In this case, the title is appended to include the user that we've specifically requested the data for. In this case, player A, so it's reflected in the title and also it's reflected in the file name over here. Thank you.